Okay, today we're gonna talk about money again, so hit that like and subscribe button right away and let's start. So let's assume you're starting locally in your own country. Then it all depends on a couple of factors. And one of these factors is the average prices of your country, obviously. The other one is the amount of experience you have, like how many big paying clients did you have before, how big is your portfolio and things like that. So here's an idea for you. You can prepare a dummy project and send it to a couple of renowned companies around you in your country and ask them for the price and ask them to specify how many hours it will take and what's the hourly rate. That way you'll actually be able to know the average or higher rates in your country. And I don't really think it's a problem for these companies because many people ask them for the quote and never come back to them, so that should be completely fine. Just ask them and they will likely tell you if you pretend you're a customer. So yeah, it requires you to be a little bit sneaky, but sometimes it's just the only way. So let's say the hourly rate in your country is $10. You need to multiply it by some number to get your basic first-time hourly rate for your first couple customers. And I think the best multiplication is either by 2 or by 3. So if you're comfortable, start with 20. And obviously if the rate is 5, then you can start with 10 or 15. So you can use this way if you don't want to be sneaky and ask around for guidance from some other bigger players. But you can do both. You can ask them and you can also try to set up your own rates. And setting the price is a good mix of experience and quality. So if you have very high quality projects in your portfolio, you don't really need to have a lot of real clients. It's still gonna be enough for many companies to consider you, even at a little bit higher price. And if you happen to get a steady client, for example, one that will pay you a monthly wage for your work for a year or so, obviously you don't really want to have that same initial starter lower rate for them. So it's really best to actually tell them that it's a special promotion for the first few months of work, and after that your price goes up. That should be fine with most companies because they will be getting the lower price and they don't know if that's the only price that you do. And in general, it's good to have higher prices. So if you're comfortable with the quality of work you're doing, it's really good to have higher prices and higher paying clients. Because even if you have less of those higher paying clients, there's still gonna be less of a pain for you than those lower paying ones. Because from my experience, people who don't have a lot of money to spend and are arguing about every cent are the most annoying, and they will be arguing with you just about everything. So it's best to have just a couple of clients and just have them agree to what you're proposing. And if somebody is arguing with you right away and trying to lower the price drastically, it's usually going to be a really bad work cooperation. So it's sometimes best to just quit and fire the client right away. But in general, the more you can justify your price by showing a huge portfolio and very well written articles on stuff that is related to that portfolio, so like write-ups for the projects and explaining your thought processes and things like that, and also pretty UI, because that always sells, you'll be able to get pretty good rates quite quickly. And the more famous logos from some big brands that you have in your portfolio, it's going to be easier to rack up a much higher price, but that can be a trap as well, because if you did projects for those big brands at a lower rate, some smaller companies, some startups approaching you might assume that you're really expensive and just don't even reach out to you. So use that with moderation, but some logos are really good to have. And of course, things like testimonials are also a great way to helping people decide. So in general, start pretty low, start with a lower price, and then slowly, as you gain more experience and more customers, just bump it up every year, every half year, depending on what your project's outcome is. You should be reaching at least like 5 or 6 times the minimum wage of your country. So as you can see, it's really not that bad. You can afford a pretty good lifestyle by just being a designer and not really doing all that extra stuff yet. And there's gonna be a time for that as well, because passive income is really great. But even just doing design work, it's good money. And if you want to be a traveling designer, just traveling the world with your laptop and working from there, You don't really need a very high hourly rate because there are many countries that are beautiful and are enough to live on even lower rates. So just pick the right spots and you'll be able to work with a sea view every day and then just switch it around every month. So that life is completely possible being a freelancer. It just needs a little bit of hustle and, well, setting the right prices as well. So anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share the video, and see you next time. Cheers!